Over the last month, many people have taken to social media to voice their opinion on the late great Kobe Bryant. Many have said outlandish things. Kobe's last two rings don't count because his roster was stats. Yes, believe it or not, someone actually said that. Bleacher Report listed him out of the top 10 players of all time, and of course, there's Shaq. Shaq believes he could have won his first three championships even if he replaced Kobe with Tracy McGrady from 1999 to 2002. In this video, we'll be focusing on Shaq's comments about Kobe, saying how he could have won three back-to-back championships without him. This started when NBA Hall of Famer Tracy McGrady said that if it was him in Kobe's place with Shaq, that he would have at least been able to win one championship. Shaq's response on his podcast showed him agreeing with Tracy McGrady, and here is what he had to say on his podcast.
I made a statement the other day, and I'm going to answer after you guys answer. He said, if you switch him and Kobe out, as far as playing with me, the outcome is the same. You agree or disagree?
No, you're not just saying you switching out with Kobe and you're gonna be what Kobe was. That's not you make nothing away from Tmac. Great player. Oh, you not Kobe. Yeah, and that mentality too.
I might have to disagree.
I don't know though. You know what my difference mine is though, big fella, is the mentality. Like that killer mentality. Everybody didn't have that. Like he was a great player. Don't get me wrong, but it was times that Mike and Kobe. I felt like that Mike gave Kobe something that nobody else would be able to even imitate and be able to like have that mentality. A lot of players no other players had it really.
I agree with you saying, but you don't think I could have won three?
Well, Shaq really does feel this way about Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant. Personally, as great as a player Tmac was, I do not believe he would have won the three rings with Shaq like Kobe did ultimately. But let's see what the data has to say about this. This graph shows the amount of points averaged in the playoffs that year. The size of the bubble shows how many games the player played. In this graph, we can see the main difference between Kobe and Tracy McGrady throughout these years. While Tracy McGrady in this span would average the most points between the two in 2001, averaging 33.8 points a game. This was also done in a single four-game series, in which he ended up losing. A lot of these losses came from the closeout games and situations as well. In Game 4 against the Milwaukee Bucks in 2001, while McGrady did have 25 points, it was an off night for him, only shooting 38.5% from the field. And when he needed to close the game out in the fourth quarter, he would only have 2 points that came from the free throw line in 11 minutes of action, essentially playing the full fourth. While these stats are impressive for Tracy McGrady, as he would average around 30 points per game for every year besides 2000, these are also smaller sample sizes, and we do not know how much of this average would be had he played more games. Now, this isn't being said to shame Tracy McGrady or dwindle how great he really was. We notice a pattern, however, with the same thing happening in 2000, where in Game 3 he only had 12 points on 5 of 14 shooting, leading the Raptors to get swept by the Knicks. There are many winnable games in series Tracy McGrady had where if the shot was falling we would look at him differently, and maybe there would be more merit to this discussion. I have a hard time saying Tracy McGrady would have won all three championships with Shaq. However, when there were times Shaq didn't show up and Kobe had to become the primary scorer, Kobe would flourish. Unfortunately, we will never know if Tracy McGrady could do the same. The problem I have with Shaq's comments is the way he says it. He makes it sound as if Kobe didn't work together with him to win these championships. Rather, he was doing everything, and anyone could have filled the role Kobe was given alongside him, but that simply isn't true. The data proves him wrong as well. Moving on, we'll use this next chart to show you what I mean by this. It shows the averages of both Shaq and Kobe throughout the three-peat. As you can see throughout this, these two complement each other perfectly through this run, where one struggled the other would excel. And oftentimes when one of them couldn't rise to the occasion, the other would. Kobe, even when Shaq left, would consistently make it out the first round up until 2012, 4 years before he retired. In this span, he would win two more championships from 2008 to 2010. In a lot of people's eyes, he cemented himself as an all-time great with these. Shaq and Kobe would also take turns turning up in the fourth quarter, and this is especially apparent when you look at their stats in each championship game. In their first championship in 2000, Shaq was miles ahead of Kobe when it came to fourth quarter dominance, but to Kobe's defense, this was a 5-game series, with Kobe only playing 3 of the 5 fourth quarters. Shaq would play every single one. I do think the age aspect of this conversation is very underrated as well. At 28 years old, During the start of his championship, Shaq had entered his prime years and was arguably the best player in the world during this time frame. Kobe, despite still being an amazing player, was only 21 at this time and still mastering his skill set in the league. Anybody in the league right now would have been a second option to Shaq had they played with him. When we go to 2001, the stats become more comparable, with Kobe and Shaq averaging the same amount of points in the fourth quarter of these finals, with Kobe being more efficient from the field, while Shaq would contribute in other statistical categories to help them close out games. In 2001, their fourth quarter efforts were that of a duo. Not one person was over relied on, and this allowed them to win their second championship in a row. Like I stated, this was a duo. In many championships, we see great players close out games, and this year was a collective effort by both Laker greats. The way Shaq spoke in the clip earlier gives me a feeling he doesn't understand this. The same could be said for these closeout games in 2002. While Kobe would average a point more than Shaq in the fourth quarter of these years, as well as being more efficient, Shaq would dominate other statistical categories, mainly rebounds, to help them finish out these games. It was a very it was very effective, as in 2002 the Lakers swept the New Jersey Nets, winning their third championship in a row. Could Tracy McGrady, someone who was never able to make it out of the first round, be able to dominate like this alongside Shaq? In the clutch moments, would he be able to carry the load if Shaq was being locked up? Based on what we know from his career, and especially the time frame of his career we've been referring to, 1999 to 2003, I don't believe he could have. Like I said earlier, the problem I have with Shaq's comments is that he believes if you replace Kobe with Tracy McGrady that they would have three-peated as well. There is one variable I didn't mention that no amount of data can measure: mindset. The famous Mamba mentality is what Kobe is known for, always striving for improvement and greatness. The work Kobe put in shows this, as he was always working hard and studying the game to become better than he was yesterday. He would even get on Shaq, consistently believing that if he had the same work ethic as himself, he could have won many more NBA championships. Would Tracy McGrady have been able to push Shaq the same way Kobe did? Kobe, during these runs, brought these concerns up to Shaq, which would eventually lead them to not get along and ultimately disband. We can't rewrite history, but we can use facts to get an idea of what would have happened had it been different. Let me know your thoughts, though. Do you believe Shaq is right, or do you think his take is disingenuous? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll catch y'all next time.